Shadows, the horror movie heroes, by Clouds, read by Distracted by Books, Chapter 27, Mistake. The heroes had retreated back to their agency as they spent the requisite time caring for the injured. Mirio was trying to stay upbeat like All Might, but it was hard when he'd just learned firsthand why Aizawa had expelled half their class. They had started off with 40 students at the beginning of the week, and now, in one single afternoon, they had lost almost a quarter of them. To make it even worse, no one knew exactly what had happened. They knew the apartment had been booby-trapped with pepper spray and guns, but some of the classmates they'd lost hadn't even been in the apartment when the booby traps went off, and they'd still died. Mirio! Nejire tried to sound upbeat, but he could tell she wasn't her usual happy-go-lucky self either. Tamaki's back. He caught the villains. Mirio looked up and saw a tired-looking Tamaki with a plastic water bottle held carefully in both hands. At Mirio's curious look, he grimaced and held it up to reveal 2 grasshoppers trapped inside. I didn't know where else to put them. Sorry. We have holding cells that are glass instead of bars downstairs. Ogawa said the teachers must have anticipated that we'd face all kinds of quirks. Good work, man. At least we have something to show for that complete disaster. Disaster? Tamaki's eyes widened in panic. What happened after I left? There was a moment of heavy silence before Kohaku answered, a massacre. Mirio wanted to deny it, but that really was the only way to describe it. The snitch called to tell us that the place was booby-trapped, but he was too late, and we accidentally set off the traps. 7 people died, and a lot more got shot. It was bad. I'm really starting to wonder if your snitch is really on our side, man, Ogawa complained. What if he only told us about the drugs so that he could ambush us? Don't be ridiculous. Nejire glared at him. He was the one to tell us about the booby traps in the first place. Too little, too late, Kohaku pointed out. If he was really on our side, he would have warned us earlier. Maybe he didn't know, Mirio argued. And we did catch the villains. After losing 7 heroes, Ogawa argued. That's not worth it. It wasn't his fault. Nejire raised her voice. He didn't know about the booby traps yet. Maybe we should ask what Nedzu thinks, Tamaki said quietly. Oh, right. Mirio's eyes widened in excitement. He emailed us the first day, remember? He probably wouldn't mind us asking for advice. Shin said, it is the teacher's job to be there in case we need them, after all. Mirio nodded excitedly and hurried to the computer. What do you think we should... Oh, he already sent us something. Really? Ogawa leaned over his shoulder to see better. Huh. I guess he could tell that we needed it. Dear students, one of the main obstacles that heroes face is their own hubris. Remember that, even if you know some of the facts, you very likely do not know all of them. This is why it is important to use all the resources at your disposal to learn all that you can about the villains. You already have a large advantage. Students rarely begin utilizing the snitch so early in the game. But keep in mind that information in real life is often incomplete and that it is your responsibility as heroes to test that information and add to it. Keep up the good work. Nedzu, principal of UA High School. I guess we did kind of go in assuming we knew everything. Ogawa winced. We didn't really search the place as much as we maybe should have. We went in assuming that we had the advantage and we paid the price for it. So we agree we can trust the snitch? Mirio asked. This email is basically confirmation that he's on our side. It also says that we should test that information. Kohaku frowned. I think we should give the snitch one more chance, but if it ends up like last time, we will never listen to him again. Also, we should meet him in person. Agreed? Ogawa nodded. Agreed. I guess that's reasonable. Mirio nodded. Tamaki groaned. That involves talking to him again, doesn't it? Yep. Mirio smiled and pulled out his phone. And there's no time like the present. Be on alert for alarms. Izuku said cryptically, there will be 2 villains. According to my info, they also obtained the bank objective. But that's all I can give you. Sorry. He hung up the phone. As long as we don't kill any heroes on the museum heist and I show up for a meeting, that should keep them from getting too suspicious of me. But now we have a problem. What problem? Hitoshi frowned and looked at Izuku's spiderweb of plans on the wall. I thought we had the heroes right where we wanted them. We do, but we also have a problem. Izuku grabbed a marker. We made a mistake. Mike let out a shocked laugh. They're gaslighting the students. Yep. Midnight looked just as surprised. And it's working. Shota looked at Nedzu suspiciously. You know what their mistake is. Yes. Nedzu put down his teacup. It seems as though Midoriya has realized it too, although it is going to be a bit of a mess to fix. Oh, this is exciting. You still haven't told us what it is, Cemento said tiredly. Oh, haven't I? Nedzu took a sip of tea. Odd. Hitoshi kept his voice down, even though he knew it wouldn't make a difference with Jiro in the other room. What mistake? Izuku groaned. We let someone else kill the snitch. Yeah? Hitoshi shrugged in confusion, not really seeing how that's a problem. The problem is that now they have the objective tag, not us. Izuku frowned. The heroes want to meet with me tomorrow morning, and if I'm not wearing that tag, they'll know I'm not the real snitch. Oh, Hitoshi winced. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Neither had I. I mean, I had planned pretending to be the snitch as a backup plan. That's why we had the real snitch taken out so early. But I hadn't even thought of what would happen if the heroes wanted to meet in person. Izuku sighed. Going after that tag will put us behind for tomorrow. What if we split up? Hitoshi suggested. You go after the tag, and I can take Jiro and Kaminari and make sure all our ducks are in a row for the charity event. I think that might work. Izuku used his teeth to take the top off the marker in his hand and turned to his mad scientist wall. All right, let's make a few adjustments. Denki stumbled under the weight of the box he was carrying. It was really heavy, and they had an entire truck full of them. What even are these things? You don't need to know, Shinso replied. You're just here to set them up. They were walking toward a large building, but they weren't the only ones. The entire place was a flurry of activity, and dozens of civilians were heading in and out, carrying supplies, decorations, and all sorts of other things. It honestly looked like someone was having a party. Denki and Jiro followed a few steps behind Shinso as someone ran to hold the door open for the 3 of them. It looked like, with all the chaos, everyone just assumed that they were supposed to be there. Shinso led them through the main room, weaving around half-set-up tables and chairs until someone called out to them, Hey, you 3, stop right there! Denki thought they were going to make a run for it, but instead Shinso obediently stopped in his tracks and turned to face the woman who called out to them. Are you the one in charge? Yes, that would be me. The woman looked stressed and held a clipboard in one hand. Don't know why Nedzu thought it would be a good idea to do this. It adds a whole lot more work for us. Are you here to help us set up? Hitoshi nodded and hefted the box in his hands. We were just about to take these party favors to the back. Where's the best place to put them? I'll have someone show you. I didn't know we were doing party favors. The woman shook her head and started muttering, That rat, always going over my head and sending things I didn't even know. She jumped a little as she realized they were just standing there and hurried to look at her clipboard. What were your names? Hitoshi Shinso. Hitoshi answered confidently. We might not be on the list. We kind of signed up at the last minute. Right. I'm not seeing your name here. The woman frowned. Can I see your tokens? I just need to make sure you're not villains or anything. Beside him, Jiro froze, and Denki was sure that now they would drop the boxes and make a run for it, but instead, Shinso awkwardly shifted the box so that he had a hand free and fished something out of his pocket. Here you go. Denki's jaw dropped when he saw a civilian token in Shinso's hand. How? Why hadn't he been given one of those? All he had was a villain token. He glanced over at Jiro, but she just looked as confused and shocked as he was. Shinso put the token back into his pocket. Anything else? Well, I will need to see everyone's. Her face went slack as Shinso took control. You already saw all our tokens. Don't remember me brainwashing you. The woman blinked as she got into her right mind again. Sorry, I think I spaced out for a second. I saw all your tokens, right? Yep. Denki gave her a charming smile. Now, I think you were about to show us where to put these. They're kind of heavy. Oh, right. She pointed toward a door near where they were setting up the stage. There's a back room right behind that door. Feel free to put them there for now. We'll deal with them later. Thank you. As soon as they were in the back room, Denki practically dropped the box on the floor. Oh, thank goodness. Don't drop the boxes. Shinso glared at him. They're fragile. Fragile? Jiro looked at him suspiciously. What even are they? Hitoshi hummed thoughtfully as he set down his box and opened it up. Something that's going to make an impression. He pulled something out of his box that looked about the size of a small plate, but thicker and rounded like a dome. Hitoshi grinned. You two go get the rest of the boxes and get the other volunteers to help you. I'm going to set these up, probably under each of the tables, and we need some up by the stage, and he laughed. I think I might be picking up a muttering habit from Izuku. Yeah, you might be, Jiro nodded. How did you get a civilian token? Shinso grinned wickedly. From a civilian. Now let's get to work. End of chapter.